Hey, I'm Evan.
I'm Mike.
Welcome to USSC Stories.
The broken and falling, damned old souls been sent to burn. Nowadays they've been calling, telling me soon gonna be my turn. Head down.
All right, well, Mike, what are we talking about, man?
Man, so something disturbing that I actually watched, and I know you probably heard about it. It's been kind of going around social media, news and shit, kind of crazy. This fucking movie called Cuties, man. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. I've seen shit about it all over fucking social media, YouTube, all kinds of stuff. I haven't watched it only because of people's reactions.
Yeah.
I've heard there's supposed to be some message or something that goes with it or whatever, but
Right.
in my opinion, I don't know, like something like that where it's like sexualizing little girls
Yeah.
on a huge platform like Netflix. It's just really weird, man. Like, I don't know, it irks me for some reason seeing something like that go on there. I never watched it just because it just fucking is weird, you know?
Yeah, because like I seen stuff about like the same thing. I saw everything on social media about it, people reactions to it. So I was like, man, let me actually try to watch the movie and see what it was for myself, right? So it starts off with like this little black girl. She's trying to fit in, trying to find friends and shit like that. So she finds this group of friends that actually end up being dancers, whatever. But like there was a lot of stuff in there that they were doing that had like a lot of sexual innuendos. And then when they started doing the dancing stuff, man, it was like a twerk team competition or some shit like that. And they were looking at other videos of women twerking and trying to like get techniques and shit like that. And then I think what really fucked me up the most, I couldn't even make it through all the way through the whole movie, but the camera angles, the director or whoever decided to use would actually zoom in on like the crotch and shit. And when they started dancing, it was in slow motion. So there was like fucking close ups to the ass and body. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like who, like you said, I know there's a message or something behind it, but it just wasn't, it's not right, man.
I don't know. There's a way to send a message, and there's the way that they did. And in my opinion, that's just it's fucking weird, man. Like, you want to say you're sending a message, but you're zooming in on what 10-year-old girls, booties and shit like that. Whatever the fuck. It's just fucking weird, man. Like, I don't know. It seems like it's catering to a certain type of people,
Yeah, and all that shit, and especially with everything in the news now with the Save Our Children, fucking the Epstein shit, him finally getting fucking busted for the shit he did.
Yeah.
All this, Pizzagate and all the shit that you hear people talk about, and like, I think they didn't even talk about on the news, but maybe like last month there was 27, I think it was like 27 people that got caught up in sex trafficking ring with young children in fucking Atlanta. And like finally got busted, and there's more. So to make a movie about something like sexualizing, knowing what the fuck is going on with this country, make a movie like that, and then put it on Netflix where it's access to everybody.
Yeah, man. I saw that article where that little sex trafficking ring in Georgia got caught up and everything, and didn't really get too much headlines on mainstream news. Surprisingly, not. But then, yeah, like you say, not too long after that, they come out with this movie, and it seems like it's pandering towards a particular type of person, and I don't know. In my opinion, man, it's just fucking wrong. Like, how can something like that be broadcasted on a platform as big as Netflix, man? I mean, they have to have like teams of people that review shit right before they post like movies and shows and stuff like that in order to determine if it's something that they should be showing. And either someone fucked up and just let it slip through the cracks, or there's a deeper meaning to what Netflix is doing. I'm not trying to throw them under the bus or anything, but how do you let 10-year-old girls twerk to show it to everybody? You know, there's some fucking nasty ass men and women that are watching this shit and getting their jollies off to it, you know?
Right. And there was one scene in the movie where this is where I cut the shit off. There was one scene in the movie to where I guess they had their dance. They tried out for some whatever dance competition. And one, I think the little black chick or whatever, she didn't make it. So she meets up with the girls or something like that, and they were trespassing in the place where they should have been trespassing, I guess. So two security guards came through, was like, "What are you guys doing here?" And then they were like, "Oh no, we're dancers, whatever. We're part of a dance team." So the girl just starts fucking dancing, and this is where one of the scenes where they were like dancing slow motion and shit like that. So one dude is like fucking fixated on her dancing, watching her move and shit like that. Then she finally stopped dancing, and they were like, "Get out of here." And then I guess like the other security guard slapped the dude like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Because he was looking at them in like in a sexual way. Like these girls are fucking 11 years old.
Yeah, it's just fucking weird. Like I said, like I know there's been articles about it saying there's supposed to be some kind of meaning behind it, like exposing shit like that. But
yeah,
I just can't understand. There had to have been a better way to go about it, man. Like, you know, because there's going to be people in real life actually watching this shit and enjoying it, you know, and it's just fucking wrong.
For the wrong fucking reasons. And then on top of all that stuff, man, I know you heard about California's law about the pedophilia shit.
I heard something about it, man. Like, I guess if you're within 10 years of someone's age, you know, you can't get thrown in prison. I don't know how it goes. I know it's something fucked up.
And if y'all watching this right now, if y'all know, man, drop a comment down below and correct us if we're wrong. Because I want to say something within the lines of 10 years. If you won't be labeled as a sex offender, you have the judge's discretion to label you as a sex offender or not. If he felt like it was predatory, so you could be 11 years old and be dating a dude that's 21 years old. Now, if I don't know how the fuck you can't find that predatory, but if the judge deems, well, it wasn't in a predatory manner, there was actually, you know, a love, shit like that, we'll go ahead and you'll still get punished in a sense, I guess, but you won't have to register as a sex offender.
It's fucked up, man. I can't even understand why something like that would get passed, why someone would even consider that bullshit. You know, you're allowing grown men and women, because women, you know, are sex offenders too, some women, you know, you're allowing them to exploit these young children, you know, and, you know, we were all that age once upon a time, and we thought we knew how the world worked and shit like that when we were 10 years old. And, you know, it's easy
right.
to confuse a mind that young, you know what I'm saying? And
like
so
what possessed? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. What would possess a person anyway to look at a young child under the age of 18, whatever, as a grown man or a grown woman and find anything remotely attractive or like in a sexual manner about them like that?
I couldn't tell you, bro. I couldn't tell you. You know, it's, you know, I'd like to think the majority of the population on Earth are not like that. You know, I'm fairly certain they're not. You know, there's a minority of people that have these strange and wrong sexual cravings, you know, and it's just fucking disgusting, man. Like, to me personally, you know, it's disgusting. It should be disgusting to everyone, you know. And, you know, you can permanently damage these fucking children, you know, mentally, you know, physically as well, but mentally. I mean, they're going to be broken people when they grow up, you know.
Yeah.
You know, imagine some fucking 10-year-old girl like these little girls on this movie we're talking about, and, you know, they're with some dude that's 21 years old or some shit, or 20 years old, and then, you know, these these girls grow up to be women, and they have just a warped sense of who they should be, who they shouldn't be, kind of thing, you know?
Right. And I just think I got two children, man. I got a 7-year-old son. I got a 3-year-old daughter, bro. And I feel more for my daughter just because, I don't know. I guess growing up a boy, I feel like we had ways to handle ourselves. We knew how to get out of certain situations. I'm not saying that boys or girls are more subject to that stuff than boys are, but I just feel like girls got way. It just preying on little girls is a lot worse than it is with boys, man. But I try my best to shield them from certain things on the internet and certain things like that, so they still keep their fucking innocence. Like I would be damned if I catch my daughter twerking on fucking internet doing something like that. Now, you 18 when you get out the house and shit, do whatever the fuck you want. But while you're in the rules, man, like, I don't want you behaving in that manner, man. Keep your innocence as much as you can until you're ready to move off and do whatever. Even my son, man. Even if I found out he was dating somebody who was a fucking preteen or in their mid-teens, and he's a 20-something-year-old fucking man, whoop his fucking ass, man. Like, that's fucking wrong. There's no reason you should be dating nobody that young.
Obviously this stuff, it's been going on since fucking mankind has existed, right? It's just there's always going to be some fucking creeps that do shit like that. But, growing up, you and I was born in the late 80s, and I think you were as well. We're on that cusp of technology, right? But we didn't really have the internet until later on in life. And,
right.
To be honest, man, fucking internet's really, ironically saying, because we're recording this for YouTube, but, the internet's really made it an easy way for predators to get at people, and then you normalize things like this movie that we're talking about. And I guarantee you little kids are going to watch it and think that's okay, and
right.
Kids growing up now probably know a hell of a lot more about how to control technology than we do. And there's ways they can post stupid shit thinking that, they're just having fun and being innocent, but there's going to be some weirdo on the other end, having a good time watching them,
right.
It baffles me that a platform as big as Netflix can allow that to happen, man. It's all over. All social media, they allow certain things. You can watch shit like that. It's just fucking weird, man. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's almost at every avenue you turn. It's something that you can't really. It's everywhere, and I try my best to shield my kids from certain things. I can't be there for every fucking thing they watch on YouTube or Netflix, whatever like that. But as long as I can teach them, from right and wrong with certain things like that, man. And then just, I don't know. And I think too, the parents that allowed their kids to be part of a movie like that, I just don't understand it. I just don't get it, man.
I don't know if they're just thinking like this is a stepping stone to stardom, or fame, or to get their kids famous or have money or something like that. But you gotta, parents gotta consider, the long run, what it's gonna do to their kids, because there's already some very explicit fucking stories coming, about Hollywood and stuff like that.
Right.
The elite in Hollywood and shit like that, taking advantage of certain people. And, you have to consider if your young children, girls and boys, are going to grow up into to be stars and stuff like that, then, there's a big chance that if you're doing something like this movie, that you're already sexualizing them, there's going to be some weirdos and creeps that are in the elite. They're going to take notice and, try to take advantage of them.
Yeah. And I've seen posts where people like the movie wasn't that bad. If you didn't like it, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Just don't watch it. Don't support it. But that's the wrong fucking answer. You're turning a blind eye to something that could be fucking potentially serious. And then, that is serious. That's something that's going on right now as we fucking speak. Like we got Save Our Children campaigns, shit going on. this is a serious fucking matter.
It's incredible, dude, because like consider everything that's going on. Well, everything since like the Epstein thing, right?
Right.
And sex trafficking, it's become a really big thing. I mean, it's always been big, but now it's become like extremely out in the open, right? And it just seems baffling that they would even consider putting a movie like that on a platform when you know that, you know, there's a huge fucking sex scandal going on in the world, not just America, in the world. You know, it's just,
Yeah, man.
you know, America itself, we're, you know, making a big noise about it, which is good. There needs to be fucking noise about this situation.
And then, you know, so our previous, our many conversations we've had offline and stuff like that. I remember you telling me you from West Palm Beach, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Boynton Beach. It was West Palm Beach area. And, you know, when I saw that Epstein thing on Netflix, I'm like, holy shit. I mean, this is where I grew up, right? And this Epstein guy was there where I grew up. And I have a older sister, and she would have been around that age that this fucking nasty ass old fuck was, you know, recruiting young women. And it just gets me angry, bro. This gets me mad, you know, and this isn't just, that was just one guy, you know, and they made a big profile about him, but you know, there's hundreds, maybe thousands of these people, you know, out there.
Yeah. And most of them ain't even famous. You ain't got to be fucking famous.
Yeah.
Or you could be the fucking dude next door. Like you could be, oh man, you could be the fucking dude next door. You could be fucking kicking it, cooling it, not knowing that this motherfucker has a horrible past.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's a story years ago, I think it was mid 2010s, maybe early 2010s, when they, that one guy had abducted like three young girls and kept them in his house for like the course of like 10 years or something. And they eventually escaped because one of them was banging on the door and some pedestrian came and heard it and freed him. It was like a big meme actually afterwards too. I remember that.
The McDonald's dude, something like that. Yeah, the McDonald's, whatever.
Yeah. And I mean, on a serious note, I mean, you know, they were young girls and they were stuck in this fucking guy's house for 10 something years, maybe more on that. And, you know, he was having his way with them. And, you know, he was living in a normal neighborhood. Neighbors, he said, you know, his neighbors said that they had barbecues with him and stuff. And no one fucking knew about it.
Said it was the nicest fucking dude in the world. Didn't know he was a creep. Like, oh, dude, that's just fucking scary, man. Like, and then I've seen videos lately of like families just having dinner. And one family was having dinner outside and on a patio of this restaurant, and this dude just hopped the fence and grabbed their child. Just hopped the fucking little.
Was that the video that just recently came out?
Yeah.
I've seen that. Yeah, it was fucking weird, man. Like, it must have been like a restaurant or something. Maybe we're not talking. I don't know. Maybe we are talking about the same video, but I've seen one where
he was like the restaurant patio or something like that, right?
Yeah, there's like some women having lunch or something. Have a little girl there, and they look off camera, and then some dude just jumps the shit and steals the little girl. And luckily, you know, they fought him off and everything. But that's how fucking brazen these people are, man. They'll just come and snatch your fucking kids, and you know, and then. It's baffling. And then you have fucking movies that just heighten the desire of these fucking rotten people.
There was a movie before they took it. It was on Amazon Prime. It's still up there. It's still on there, but I tried to watch it the other day because I just fucking came across it and I was like, I can't believe this is a fucking movie. It's called I, Pedophile. Something like that, right? And it goes into the mind of a pedophile, like kind of like trying to normalize shit, not normalize it, but find out like the psychiatric, like psychological. Well, you know what makes me a pedophile? Why, you know, I identify as pedophilia, whatever. And then it's like, why would you try to normalize fucking being a pedophile? Like. And then especially try to include it into the whole LBG whatever, like that's not.
I gotta feel bad for, you you know, that the LGBT. I'm sorry, I don't know the fucking acronyms, but you know what I'm talking about. I feel bad for them, dude. Like, because I think for the most part, they're just normal people that, you know, have their sexuality, and that's fine, you know. But now we're grouping in some really fucking. They're trying to group in like these child predators into that acronym, you know.
Right.
I'm sure some people are not going to like what I'm saying, so some people are going to agree what I'm saying, but you know, it's just they're trying to insert this predator mentality into that shit. And you know, nowadays, not to get too into politics and stuff like that, but
Right.
you know, there's going to be people that accept it just because of a narrative, and there's going to be certain people that are not going to accept it. And but I know there's people of that class, I guess you would say, LGBT, you know, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
That are just normal people, you know, they're normal people. That's just their sexuality and stuff like that. And they'll probably fucking, you know, if that happens, they'll fucking go ape shit because they're going to be like, how fucking dare you, you know, put this person in my category kind of thing.
Right. And I was kind of thinking back, just when you said law, about the whole 10-year shit. So I think it was originally kind of set in place to, if you were 18 and you were dating somebody that was 17, or you were 17 dating somebody 16. Some states, consent is different.
Yeah.
But I know if you were considered a legal adult, and you were dating somebody that was not considered legal or still a minor, that was supposed to protect them in a sense. So if I was 18 and the chick was 16, and just say I just turned 18, she was turning 16, but the parents didn't like the fact that we were dating, I'll be charged with statutory rape. I'll be considered a sex offender. So I think the law was trying to protect. In some cases, I get it, because you do have situations like that. But that 10-year jump, like, I just don't understand that shit.
If you're talking about like a 16, 17, I mean, they're both minors, or if you were, you know, both 17, one of them turned 18, technically, you know, they were dating, and then technically one of you is an adult, I can kind of see where the line blurs there.
Yeah.
But 10 years, 5 years, I don't know. If you're anywhere like past fucking 18, like, I don't know, you need to start dating your own fucking age, you know?
Yeah. I remember being in high school, and I remember talking to a lot of chicks, or trying to get with some chicks, and they'd be like, oh, no, I like older men. It's like, motherfucker be 14, 15 years old. She dating a dude that's 20. And at the time, I was like, man, fuck, you know? But now looking back at it, it's like, bitch, this is a goddamn predator, son. Hey,
that's no joke. I remember, actually, that's funny you brought that up. I specifically remember this chick. I don't remember her name. Even if I did, I wouldn't, you know, mention her. But
right.
we were in 10th or 11th grade, and it was the same thing. She was like 14, 15 years old, 16 years old, something like that. And she was talking about her boyfriend, and you know, she was saying he was like 23. You know, at the time, I was like, oh, this motherfucker, you know. But, you know, being grown-ups, man, you know, looking back, you're like, what the fuck? That's like some fucking weird shit.
Weird.
Like, that's some predatory shit, man. Like,
what can you, like, even if you did, say, quote unquote, fall in love with a girl that was 15 and you're like 35, right? What possibly can you, like, have in common with this 15-year-old fucking girl that somebody your age, or maybe just somebody that's over fucking the age of 21, just like, what about this 15-year-old child made you just feel like that was something that you needed to be with?
I mean, first off, how could you fucking fall in love with a child, you know? Like the way we're talking about it, it doesn't make sense. Like, how could you? Like, these are little people that their minds are still developing, right? They might think they're grown, but adults, we know they're not fucking grown because we've been there. And,
right.
You know, there's no justifying it. There's no justifying it. I don't care what the fucking law says. You know, the laws aren't always fucking right, you know?
Yeah.
100 years ago, a man could beat his wife with a fucking mop handle, you know? doesn't make it right. You know, I think Bill Burr said that shit.
Yeah.
But
dinner wasn't ready. I'm gonna slap the fuck out you real quick. Go ahead, cook it. Like that, but you know that was accepted in times like that at one point.
Yeah.
Not fucking right, but it was accepted.
Yeah, you know, to be honest, I don't give a fuck what these predatory people's feelings are, what they think they deserve or what they think is right. You don't belong with a child, you know, and I think it's completely idiotic that any state would, you know, pass some fucking law like this.
You even consider that shit, and I think too, there's a double standard when it comes to women and men as predators too, though. Because you think like, you know, look at like over the last decade, there's been so many fucking female teachers getting caught up with these young boys and everything like that, and I'm guilty of it. I know a few other people guilty of it, but I'm like, damn, he was a hot ass teacher. You know, he got lucky, but you know. Me being a 13-year-old boy, 14-year-old boy, like if I had a fucking fine teacher, that was like, dog, man, hey, you know, Miss Evans or not my bad, I didn't say your last name. But Miss Williams or Miss Johnson, whatever, was just fucking amazing. Like she's beautiful. Like, I mean, if I smash on my boys, like here, high five, whatever, like that. And then now looking back at it, it's like I don't think female predators get the same slack as male predators do.
No, I don't think they do either. I think for a lot of it is a double standard, and it's you know, a lot of times it's the fault of perception. You know, like as us as men, we'll look at them like, oh man, they're fucking cute, you know, kinds of shit like that, stupid shit. But the fact of the matter is, they are predators preying on children. You know, and like you said, back in the day when I was in school. If I had a hot teacher, you know, I probably would have went all for it, you know?
Yeah.
But that's the aspect of kids, you know?
Yeah.
They don't know, you know, what they should be doing, or they probably do, but they're easily seduced because, you know, adults technically should know better. And if you have this good looking adult that's charming and shit like that, that's telling you, oh, it's okay, you know, shit like that, whatever the fuck, you know, chances are that kid is gonna be like, okay, cool.
Yeah, because like with a young boy in high school or whatever, middle school, sex is pretty much on our fucking mind. So if the teacher approach us, hey, you want to fuck? Hell yeah, I'm jumping on that shit. And then I think for a young girl, it's so easy to manipulate her mind. It's easy to manipulate a boy's mind too. Do you watching it? I ain't trying to exclude or whatever, but I think it's really simple to alter a female's mind like that too, because one, she's dealing with all these punk ass boys at school. You got an older dude that has his own car, he got a job or whatever. He can say suave shit to her to make her think, man, like, yo, I need to start dating older men, this and this and this. And then they start doing that control shit. Hey, like, you don't talk to me, you don't talk to nobody else. Like that. Then they get to that Stockholm shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just fear for our children, future children, and all that shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even worried. Like I have nieces and nephews, man. You know, it's back in the day when I was a kid, it was nothing for us to go out in the streets and just play all day and halfway through the fucking evening when it's past dark and stuff like that and not worry about it. And you know, now it's, you know, you're kind of scared to let your kids out of your sight, you know, especially when you see stuff like this on social media and stuff like that. And and it's just, it's frightening, man. And then it sucks too, because now you're worried about letting your kids be kids, you know, going out and play and stuff like that. Now you're just worried to do that. So you're having, you know, a watchful eye over them all the time. And it's just, it sucks because that's kind of not fair to them. You got to let them be kids and stuff, but you're also scared that some fucking random asshole like that guy in that video is going to come out of nowhere and just try to snatch your kid.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, like now I let my son go out and play and stuff, but you know, he got a cell phone. Everybody's like, nah, man, you shouldn't give him no cell phone. I was like, no, because if he leaves out this house, I at least want to know where the fuck he's going. We track his phone. He got our numbers. Call us when you get where you're going. Call us if you're gonna move somewhere. We're gonna leave somewhere else. Let us know where you're gonna be at all times. Well, I mean, it got to the point where I think when we first started to go outside and play, you only could play in the front yard. Like, I don't want you going out further where I couldn't see you.
Yeah.
Or whoever house you're going to. We're gonna talk to your parents. We're gonna if we're gonna take so much precautionary measures to where I don't want to end up on the fucking news with a missing child sign, missing child notice, looking for my son, then fuck around and find them years later, weeks later, months later, dead in the ditch somewhere, fucking trafficked somewhere. Like, it's so much to worry about with these young children nowadays, man.
I read this story. Well, actually, I didn't read the story. I think it was on YouTube somewhere of this young girl. She's grown up now, but she was telling the story of how this man broke into her house at night, took her away, and I think she was gone from her parents' place for like 6 months or something like that, for a long time. And, you know, he was one of those nasty motherfuckers who had his way with her, you know, and was raping her consistently. And when she was telling the story, I mean, I think she was like 20 something at the time when she was telling the story, but she was like a young teenager. And like she was saying, like she was being held about 2 miles from her home and they couldn't find her. And she was out in the, like this mountain or something like that. Like crazy. 2 miles, you know, it's not even that far, but it just goes to show that, like, you know, people can take your kids and hide them almost in plain sight, and you won't fucking have a clue where they are.
Right, and it's sometimes it's not even strangers. There was a maybe last year there was a big documentary that was on Netflix. I can't think of the name of it right now. If I do find a name, I'll put it in the video. It was this guy ended up being best friends with this family. He best friended this family. They ended up being friends for like maybe 6 months. And he actually told the parents, "Oh, I'm gonna check on the girls." Well, like, he ended up being real good friends with their kids. Then they had like 2 girls and a son. Well, the middle girl, he just loved her. Like, invited her everywhere he went with his wife. And every time he was going out on whatever trip, he always wanted to bring her with her. One night, he hops in the bed with her at her house with her parents there. Hops in the bed with her, goes to sleep. No fucking red flags or nothing like that from the parents. Then the fucking dude ended up seducing the dad. So if he was to like say anything he seduced the fucking dad, bro. Like pulled him, like, yeah, fucking seduced the dad. End up sleeping with the dad, whatever like that. And then at one point, abducted the girl, took her to like a whole different state, was brainwashing her, was doing all this stuff, and like made her fucking hate her family, like tell her family, "I don't love you, I don't want to be with you, I don't want to be around you anymore." I think the girl was like, maybe at this time, she was 11. He had her from 11 to, I think she was like 16. For them 5 years, he was brainwashing her, like, just, and then made her like believe they were getting married. They were gonna do all this stuff in life together and everything like that. And like, it was somebody that came into the family, they felt real nice with, real close with, and then bam, like that fucking quick, man.
Yeah, man. It makes you think, bro. Like, I hate to say, like, you can't trust people, but you have to be real selective with your friends or who you bring around your family. You know, you could be friends with people, but be real fucking careful when it comes to, you know, your wife, your husband, whatever, and your kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You gotta be real selective, you know, because there are some people that know how to manipulate people in order to get what they want.
Yeah, and there's even some family members that aren't all the way right.
Oh yeah, yeah. You hear about those fucking you know, aunts and uncles and shit like that, brothers and fathers and mothers and all kinds of fucking weird shit, man. That happens, man.
Yeah, man. So, you know, if you guys agree with us or disagree with us, man, please leave a comment below, kind of let you know how you feel about it. Anything that you would like to tell us to bring up about this subject, or anything that we need to research for ourselves, please, you know, give us feedback on this topic, man.
Yeah. If you guys, you know, hear of any stories or something like that we we should, you know, get a hold of and watch or read or something like that, let us know. And we'd be happy for it. We love to see you guys commenting and stuff like that, and all the support and stuff like that. So, yes.